Today I am going to solve activity 3.8. In question number 1, you have been asked to explain these 5 terms. The first one is the network interface card. The network interface card is provided with the hardware of your computer or your device in order to connect to the internet, and it contains the MAC address also. I have written the same explanation that a network interface card is needed to allow a device to connect to the network such as the internet. It is usually part of the device hardware and contains the MAC address also. As you can see, I have written the same answer over here. Now let's move on to the second definition. In the second term is of a MAC address. MAC address is printed on the network interface card, and it is unique. Every device has its own unique MAC address. So the actual definition of MAC address is given in chapter number 1, because MAC address and IP address, they were initially introduced in chapter number 1. So basically you have to go back to chapter number 1 to find the definition of MAC address that you are supposed to write over here. So this is the definition of MAC address, which is given on page number 13 of your book. Media access control address refers to a number which uniquely identifies a device on the internet, and it refers to the network interface card which is part of the device. MAC address is rarely changed. So a particular device can only be identified no matter what it is. Now comes the turn of an IP address. The IP address is assigned to you when you connect to the internet. This term is also initially introduced in chapter number 1, so its definition will be found in chapter number 1. It is also mentioned on page number 13 of your book that each device connected to network is given an address which is known as the IP address. An IPv4, which is the older type of IP address, comprises of only 32 bits, while IPv6 comprises of 128 bits. So you can give this explanation under IP address. I have also written the same answer, that each device connected to the network is given an address known as IP address. Next comes the definition of a router. Router is a device that connects two LANs together. So this is the definition. Enables data packets to be routed between different networks. For example, to join a LAN to a WAN, the router takes data transmitted in one format from a network and converts the data to a protocol and a format understood by another network, and it would typically have an internet cable plugged into it. These routers are used to connect two different networks together. Next comes DHCP server. Dynamic IP addresses are assigned by the ISP each time you connect to the internet, and every ISP every ISP dynamic host configuration protocol servers which assign a different dynamic IP address every time somebody connects to the internet. I have written the same explanations over here in my notes. Next comes in question number 2, part A. You have been asked to give two features of dynamic IP address, and in 2B you have been asked to tell two features of static IP address. I believe although table 3.14 tells the differences between the dynamic and static IP addresses, but dynamic IP address, but you can pick these 2 points of dynamic IP address. You can write these two features that they provide greater privacy, but they are not very secure, and they can cause an issue while using voice over internet protocol. And for static addresses, you can write these two, any of these. They have given 3 points. You can write any two features. Static IP addresses are allocated, assigned when you purchase a domain name and you make a new website. So they don't change, they remain the same for your website. They provide faster download and upload speeds, and they must be constantly running to so that your information is always in the information of your website is always available to people on the internet. So I have written the same points as the features of dynamic IP address, and I have given the same points for the features of static IP address. Next comes the third part of question number 2. Explain why we need both types of addresses. You can write these 3 points for static, that static IP addresses are usually assigned to remote servers which are using websites, and they provide online databases, and they use file transfer protocols. These 3 points can be written for the purpose of static IP addresses, and for the purpose of dynamic IP addresses, you can write these points, that the dynamic IP addresses are assigned by DHCP server every time a person connects to the internet. Last of all, in question number 3, you have been asked to describe 3 differences between MAC addresses and IP addresses. MAC addresses are unique, and every device has its own MAC address. IP addresses are assigned when you are connected to the internet. Address printed on the hardware of your device is the MAC address, and the address assigned to you when you connect to the internet is the IP address. This table can be, you can write any 3 features from this table, for any 3 differences from this table, for the answer of question number 3. And I have also written the same, I have also mentioned the same table in my notes. So this was activity 3.8. Next time I will solve exam style questions of chapter number 3. Thank you.